Now, every job is different, and each employer is looking for something slightly different. And so you want to make sure that you customize your resume for the position that you're applying for. So let's look at what this might look like. Now, I'm just going to search for here SpaceX jobs. And let's see, it says spacex.com/careers list, so open positions at SpaceX. And let's just look at a few of these. In fact, let's just start at the top here. Avionics development technician. Notice the word technician. They're probably looking for someone with a high school diploma, although a bachelor's or master's degree would be beneficial. The next one down is avionics integration engineer. The use of the word engineer instead of technician probably signals that this person is going to need to have a bachelor's degree at a minimum. So let's look at this technician one first. So let's see, we've got a list of responsibilities up here. Basic qualifications. Sure enough, we've got a high school diploma or GED. That's a must-have. Preferred is an associate degree. So you can see now they've listed these things at the very first bullet, high school. The first bullet down here is an associate. So obviously your level of education is important for this position. Now let's look through the responsibilities. Fabricate and assemble high quality, high reliability wire harness and electromechanical assemblies. So as we read through these, we want to be paying attention to what words are important to this employer. First of all, this is a fabrication job, right? So any experience that we've had in fabrication is important. So let's just write down a few of these words here. So for example, fabrication would be a good word to have in my resume. Let's see, they've got wire harness and electromechanical assemblies. Harness and assembly. So that's if we have any experiences with harness or assemblies, those are good words to have in our resume. Self-monitor work progress against area benchmarks and achieve on-time delivery of all work. On-time delivery. So if I can demonstrate that I've dealt with time, that I've worked under a time crunch and come out and been successful and dependable, that would be good to include in my resume. So I'm just going to put here on time. Now let's see, read, interpret, and work from drawings as well as from controlled documentation and processes. Cable harnesses, assembly, so there's that harness word again, assembly word again, schematics, engineering drawings and parts. So if I have any experience with schematics, I want to make sure that I have that word in my resume. Record work performed on shop floor management system, as well as use email, perform verification of flight hardware and documenting results in a clear, precise, and complete manner. So let's see, we have verification and documentation. If I have any experience with those, I want to make sure that they are also listed at the top. Assist with the development of production processes for first-time products or production runs, and assist with area efficiency improvement projects. So let's see, we have some any processes and production. So these are the types of words. Notice I just by reading through these responsibilities, I have now 8 or 10 words that I want to make sure are in my resume at some point. And we could keep going down the list here. Let's go back and look at this second one. So this is an engineering position. And we've got a list of responsibilities here. Basic qualifications. Sure enough, the first qualification here is a bachelor's degree in an engineering discipline. So they're not specific about which discipline that needs to be, but just basic engineering background. Preferred would be 3+ years of professional experience at system level integration. Okay, so we can walk through the same type of thing here and look at what types of words are in these responsibilities. Now, one thing that kind of sticks out to me down here, preferred skills, experience with 3D CAD software. If we have experience with CAD, we want to make sure that's in our resume. maybe troubleshooting. So I can just kind of jump through here. Do we have any project leadership experience? Sheet metal fabrication, problem solver, strong sense of accountability and integrity, self-motivated, multitasking, organized, fast-paced, autonomous. So these are all words that kind of stand out, and these are words now that we want to incorporate into our resume. So this is one reason why you can't simply write one resume and ship it out to a whole bunch of different employers. You actually need to cater your resume to the specific job that you are looking for. And from my experience, I know that as an employer is looking through resumes, it's very apparent to them whether or not your resume has been catered to that position, or if you just wrote one resume and maybe posted it on Monster.com or Indeed.com and just kind of shipped it out to all of the different employers. And they're much less impressed by just some mass emailed resume. What they're looking for is someone who's interested enough in their company to have seriously read their job description and looked at the types of things that they're looking for, the skill sets that they're looking for, and making sure that you know what they're looking for to the point that you've actually included in your resume examples to demonstrate these different skill sets. Now, one more comment along these lines. A lot of employers use search engines to actually digitally search your resume. In fact, sometimes you're required to put your resume into a text box rather than sending in a PDF, a nice PDF that you've formatted. Sometimes you're required to just drop all the text into a text box, and when you do that, you obviously want to format that text box the best that you can so that it's somewhat human readable. But chances are really good that if you are asked to put it in a text box, or even if you submit a PDF, that they will search these resumes first digitally. So you need to be aware of a term called search engine optimization. That means that you've included terms in your resume that are going to trigger their search engine. Now, chances are good that their search engine is set up to search for these particular words. They're looking for maybe cross-disciplinary, manufacturing, all these words that we've been discussing about these responsibilities or qualifications or preferred skills. Their search engine has those terms built into it, and it's looking for those terms in your resume. So you want to make sure that your resume has those so that your resume will get pulled and put in the stack of possibly qualified candidates, so that then most likely after they've searched it digitally, then the humans will go through and look at your resume. So you just want to make sure that you have included the right terminology, and that terminology changes from company to company or from position to position. So you want to make absolute sure that your resume includes the most important terms for the job that you're applying for.